We'll jump on. Hello. I will just let whoever comes on in. So today we're going to start with a mindful moment. I'm going to share today some thoughts, but also a short story that my friend wrote. She is a really amazing writer. She's written a novel, but she mostly writes what she calls microfictions. She's really got this incredibly creative mind, and she has an Instagram account. I put her website. Her name is Regitza. She's from Denmark, but everyone calls her Ricky. I know her as Ricky. So I'm going to share a piece that Ricky wrote today because I think it really illustrates beautifully what I want to talk about. And then I'll share Ricky's writings. I'll chat a little bit about it. I will guide you through about a 20 to 25 minutes meditation, and there will be some silence as we do that. And then I'll close with a reading, and we'll have some time to share afterwards if anyone is inspired to do so. But I wanted to put Ricky's website in there, as well as my website and the invitation for you to join my subscription community for 50% off the cost using the Feast promo code. And I put all that in the chat. So if you're interested, you can just kind of copy and paste that so that you have it afterwards. Yeah, so let's begin with a mindful moment just to help us drop in to that space. You can leave your screen on or off as you practice with me, whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm going to invite you to get comfortable in your seat, really feeling the body supported here in this maybe familiar, maybe unfamiliar seat. Sometimes it doesn't really matter where we practice. What feels familiar is that sense of dropping into the body and feeling the support of the seat beneath you and behind you. Closing the eyes when you feel ready, or just gazing gently downward at your hands in your lap. That works too. If your feet are on the floor, you might be able to feel the support of the floor, of the earth. Maybe notice the connection between your feet and the energy beneath it, kind of that reciprocity, that give and take. And then becoming aware of the temperature on your skin. Maybe noticing the places where the skin is free of clothing and the places where the clothing is touching the body. And then beginning to tune into sounds. You might be able to notice some subtle sounds in the body. Maybe sounds in the room, sounds in the house, and then further out, maybe distant sounds outside. Maybe becoming aware that you can discern between which of the sounds are closer and which are distant. There is the one who can discern. There is a presence there, an awareness, the essence. And then sensing the space that you're in, even with the eyes closed. That awareness can be quite vast, even beyond the boundaries of the body. And then drawing that awareness, that attention inward, and coming to find the breath moving. Maybe noticing what happens as the body breathes. You may notice the rise and fall of the chest or the belly as you breathe in and out. You may become aware of the subtle sensations of fullness on the inhale and emptiness on the exhale as you breathe in and out. And noticing too how just by paying attention to the body breathing, to the sensory experience, the body does begin to settle, maybe slight, but you can feel the shift. The mind, on the other hand, might be quite busy. So if you can imagine parking what's most pressing just outside the space you're in, and maybe it will be there when we're finished, maybe not. Maybe it will come around again. That's what the mind does. But for now, bringing your attention to our time together, setting your intention to be as present as you can be, knowing you're giving yourself this great gift of self-care, really arriving here in this space, arriving here in this seat, arriving here in this body, arriving here in this moment. We've never been in this moment before. Taking another deep breath in and out of the nose, really enjoying the ease of the exhale. If you like, you can leave your eyes closed or open them as I share this reading and a few thoughts before we go deeper into practice, whatever works for you. So Ricky wrote this: big soul always knows. Little soul has trust issues. Big soul has infinite patience. Little soul has ants in her pants. She squirms and worms around in her 5-point harness in the back seat. Big soul had to put her there after the supermarket incident. Little soul feels it's unfair. She had the best of intentions. It was only that one time, and the produce guy had it coming after what he did to those kumquats. She was well within her rights. Big soul smiles and is grateful for little soul's righteousness and fire. Big soul is expansive. Little soul is judgmental. She has some choice words to say about big soul's gullibility. She thinks big soul could save herself from a lot of heartaches if she wasn't so naive. Little soul does. Big soul is. That is how they fit together. Big soul has recovered well and is now so much bigger than little soul. Little soul doesn't have to protect big soul anymore, even though she is certain she could. She has done it many times. Little soul is convinced she is a kick-ass security guard, a perfect cross between Cruella de Vil and Catwoman. Big soul appreciates that. She tells little soul all the time while making a mental note to keep little soul strapped in. Big soul is the paper. Little soul is the pen. Big soul is the heart. Little soul is the mind. Souls. I actually wept the first time I read this beautiful piece. There is such this connection between the mind, the ego state, and the deeper part of who we are, that intuitive, rich soul place, the essence of us that dwells in this body as us, through us. But we cannot ignore that the ego is part of us. We need both to function in this world. And once we begin to recognize that there is a thinker there, that we are not our thoughts, that there is the observer there, the witness, the essence of who we are, the one that can notice the ego mind games and thoughts and wants and desires and the struggle that the ego mind has in accepting what is our reality, the part of us that suffers when we try and make what is isn't. We can begin to feel a little more integrated and recognize this sort of interplay between the part of us that lives in the world and the part of us that can transcend the boundaries of this body. And so this illustration for me is just so beautiful in a humorous way to give us that understanding that we are part of this interplay, that they sort of fit together, the ego mind and the big soul, that expansive essence of who we are. And so, sort of thinking about that today and recognizing this beautiful part of who we are, and maybe getting a glimpse of that deeper essence, the one who lives through us, that sees through our eyes, that recognizes what the ego mind is thinking and doing. And then we can appreciate both parts of who we are. So if your eyes are not closed, I'll invite you to close them now, taking just a few of those long, slow, deeper breaths in and out of the nose to feel the settling of the body, knowing that you're safe and grounded, ready to practice. And as you listen to the sound of the chime, you can now let your breath return to its natural depth and rhythm. No need to control it anymore. You may notice that your breath speeds up or slows down, but your breath knows just how to take care of you. And noticing again that temperature on your skin, the warmth or coolness of the air. Welcoming the sounds around you, subtle and distant, softer and louder. Welcoming whatever is arising internally, externally, resisting nothing, holding everything in an attitude of kind attention. Inviting some relaxation to the body, head to toe, softening the scalp, unfurrowing the brow, allowing the face to be soft and easy, no expression needed. Checking in with the jaw, seeing if you need to unclench just a little, allowing the tongue to rest comfortably in the mouth. Softening the shoulders down the back away from the ears. Noticing the spine and the posture upright and relaxed with a sense of dignity. Softening the front body from the top of the chest on down through the diaphragm. Letting the belly be soft and easy like a great big Buddha belly. Softening the right arm from the shoulder on down through the elbow, all the way to the fingertips. And the left arm softening, letting go of any tension, shoulder to fingertips. Settling the attention now in the pelvis, maybe noticing it sinking a bit deeper into the seat beneath you. Feeling the earth, floor, the cushions rising up to support you and hold you in your practice. Noticing the whole body sitting here, a space that the body takes up, places where the body connects to support behind you and beneath you. Feeling the weight of the body grounding you here, now, to the space, to this moment in time. Softening the right leg from the hip on down through the knee, all the way to the toes. And the left leg softening, letting go of any tension, hip to toes. Scanning the body, making sure you're as comfortable as can be. Notice any place that's calling for some ease or comfort. You can just bring the attention there to soften. It's okay to shift or move as you sit if you need to. And sitting still as you can. And now turning the attention inward, coming to notice any tingling or pulsing, any sensations in the body. You might notice that most in the fingertips, in the toes. You might not notice anything at all, that's okay too. But that subtle movement of energy is your aliveness. We are alive in our bodies, we rarely notice. There is a presence, an essence, a soul that calls this body home. With that inward gaze, becoming aware of the awareness, becoming aware of the one who hears my voice. Maybe noticing the thinker of the thoughts. Noticing too whatever is arising in this internal realm. There may be thoughts, emotions, sensations, letting that all be there. Maybe letting it fade toward the background. Attention to the breath in the foreground. Finding the breath wherever it's most obvious, at the tip of the nose, at the rise and fall of the chest or the belly. And once you find the breath today, follow it down deep into the belly. Follow the breath to the end of the exhale. And resting there at the end of the exhale in the very deep, spacious, open pause before the breath turns again to a new inhale. Again and again, at the end of the exhale, there is this beautiful, spacious pause. It can be deep as the ocean, wide as the sky. A pause is available at the end of every exhale before the breath turns So resting there, that deep well of quietude, will sit mostly silent. I'll mind the time. You'll hear my voice now and again and a chime at the end. Just keep your eyes closed and I will let you know your next steps. Noticing where your attention is. If you're lost in a thought, that's okay. Gently shift back, finding the breath and following it down deep into the belly, resting in the spaciousness and quietude, in the pause at the end of the exhale. As you rest in the pause, notice whatever is arising, restlessness, boredom. Just notice, no need to fix it or change it. Just allowing that spaciousness to be there, to hold whatever arises, and coming back again and again to resting in the pause at the end of the exhale. Sitting in stillness, eyes closed. Listening to the sound of the chime. And slowly beginning to deepen the breath. Keeping the eyes closed. Beginning to bring some small movements to the fingers, to the toes. Slowly stretching in whatever way feels good for you. Trying to maintain some of that present moment awareness as you slowly, mindfully move toward wakefulness. This is the part that most people rush through. It's so important to come out of meditation slowly. And lastly, if you like, you can leave your eyes closed as I share my reading. Or when you feel ready to open them, first gaze at the floor, letting in a little bit of light before coming back fully to the space, taking your time. Today I'm sharing my closing reading from the book Everyday Spirit, a Daybook of Wisdom, Joy, and Peace by Mary Davis. This one she calls Date Night with the Soul. May I quiet my words and listen. May I calm my thoughts and be. May I soften my heart and open. May I still my soul and receive. When I sit down to meditate, the noise of the world can be insanely jarring. My ears are ringing, my thoughts are galloping, my body is buzzing. I can be so filled with motion that I require a transition, a place of in between, in which I gently put on the brakes and roll to a stop. To that end, I sit for a few minutes, breathing in deeply and exhaling longer than my inhale to remind my body that it's okay to slow down, and to announce to my mind that she's going to be offline for a bit. I feel my mind resisting. Can't you see I'm busy here? So I must tell her that she can have my plans and concerns back just as soon as I'm finished meditating. She usually behaves after that. Yes, there is her and there is me. There is the little I and the big I. There is the thinker and the observer. There is the judgmental, controlling ego mind and the limitless, unbound soul. Meditation is when the soul plugs into the source energy and recharges so it can intuitively lead the mind. When I don't give time to me, my mind takes control of everything and powers through in a blitz of doing. I become too serious and sometimes seriously off track. There is infinitely more fun and flow under the insightful direction of the soul. So now that we've decided who's boss, I just watch my breath flow in and out, gently floating a mantra or phrase over the top. I breathe in, I breathe out, in, out. It feels like a very cool mini retreat. When my mind gets unruly and tries to jump in, I tap her on her little head with a wand, call it what it is, thinking, and go back to the wide open soul space. This little tapping game is like gymnastics for the mind, training her to chill while the soul gets a date night. After I'm finished, we say goodbye at the door of noisy thoughts, and I know that I bring a greater piece of me and of love into the world. Keep up your daily meditation dates with your soul. You will fall in love again and again. And then she offers us an affirmation for the day. I make time for the sweet pleasure of finding peace within. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.